Hello, hello. So we're live right now. So my name is Rebecca Kramer. I am the CEO of Loud Marketing, and I also coach my clients. And I'm here with Jaime Greene, this also known as Jaime Greene, the Solar Queen.
Yes.
And today, I wanted to talk to you, Jaime, about, you know, you're you're a pro at what you do, and you're a pro at figuring out, what the market gap is. So I'd love to talk to you about that today, but maybe you can introduce yourself and maybe tell me or tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you do.
Sure. So my name is Jaime Greene, and I live in California in the Bay Area. I am a wife and mother of 3 young kids. So I do all this from home, all of, solar in particular from home. And I was raised in Washington State, and I moved to California because this is where my husband is from. I was actually adopted from Korea when I was an infant. So
Cool.
a little, I guess, fact about myself. But I've been in the Bay Area for about 11 years now, which is kind of crazy, and have my family. And for us, like, we got solar we were looking into solar long before I actually got into the solar industry. But we just didn't know enough about it. We had no clue how it worked. We didn't know who to trust or who to talk to. And so it kind of met me, like I knew for several years was telling me what he was up to. And so that's how I got introduced into the solar industry, and had a decent experience with the salesperson, but I was like, this single young guy is coming into my home telling me about solar. And I thought, gosh, a lot of homeowners are like me. So that's kind of how I got into it.
So you were just interested. It was a product or a service that interested you, and you just decided to go into that industry?
Well, yeah, mostly because of my friend. He was telling me he was starting to do business, or helping his friend grow his business. And I was starting to dabble in digital marketing and social media marketing already. And I had spent about a year prior to that selling on Amazon FBA. So I was learning how to do Facebook ads and promoting and marketing a product and selling it and everything. It was just too much for FBA was a little too much for me in terms of time consumption. I didn't like how much time it was taking away from my life and my children.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, well, maybe I can help their business grow through digital marketing and social media marketing. So that's kind of how I wedged my way into it, because the solar industry is kind of, well, when I joined, it was a lot of, I don't know, just a lot of misconceptions and things that salespeople were just saying to get the sale, and then they would never see that person again. Okay. Which is exactly what we experienced. And I was like, this is yucky feeling. But solar is such a wonderful product, and such a wonderful thing for the earth, and a wonderful thing for people's pocketbooks. And so I thought, this is what I want. I want to focus in on this, and I want to go all in. And so that's I told my friend, I said, well, how do I get involved? And he's like, well, do you want to sell? And I was like, sure. Yeah, I do. Because that means having conversations to help inoculate or help answer people's questions, or, fears about, or not fears, but just the unknown about how solar works and how to get it, who to go with, who to trust. If I was able to play a part in that and make it so that they had the most knowledge and information, then they could answer the question themselves, whether or not they wanted solar or not, just by me meeting with them or having a conversation with them. So quickly.
Sorry. I was
go ahead.
I was going to ask. So, like, more than selling, you've been more about providing information to people so that then they can make the decision based on, whatever data they actually have.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because there's a big gap. People are so used to doing the same thing over and over and over again. And a lot of people think the only thing that they can do is pay the utility company for their energy,
Right.
or they have to, that's the only supplier for it. And with solar, it's just not the case any longer. So it was really having the conversation to, bridge that gap of, oh, you mean to tell me I can do something differently?
Yeah.
Yes, I can. And oh, by the way, depending on how much you're spending on your utility, to your utility company on your energy, solar is, for some people, it's like a swap, in terms of cost.
Mhm.
For, I would say 30% of the homeowners I meet with, they're doing it purely for the planet. And so they don't care how much it costs. Obviously, I don't want to, I want them to have it for the planet, but I also want to help them with fixing an expense that's always going to be existing as long as you stay with the homeowner stays with the utility company. So
Yeah.
it's really educating them and having that conversation about how they can do that with solar. So a huge gap in the marketing.
Um, and there is a question. So what's one advice or tip that you can recommend to business owners who are prospecting? So just like you might have to do, I guess we all have to do,
Yeah.
to get customers that would actually, oh, this one is for you, FYISI on the 10X stage.
Oh, hi,
Awesome.
Jose. Thanks for watching. That's a great question. One of the things, Rebecca and Jose, that I have done, and it started, it's not instant gratification per se, but I started building my personal brand. So, Jaime Greene is my real name. My married name is Greene. I'm married to his family's from Ireland. And so Jaime Greene, the same friend that was introducing me to solar, was, oh, Jaime Greene, the Solar Queen, because something that I was tapping into that no one else was doing, or that they hadn't seen, was I was creating content on social media, whether it was, grabbing my phone and making a video of myself talking about the benefits of solar, or just talking about, what I do. I would create little pieces of content, and I branded it Jaime Greene, the Solar Queen. So I changed my Instagram handle. I created a business page on Facebook. LinkedIn, I'm working on gradually. It's just one of those areas, social media.
I love LinkedIn.
I know you're a LinkedIn specialist, and this 2021 is me. I'm going to be focusing deeply on LinkedIn. But I took time to build a personal brand and creating content that was educational and valuable, something that was, providing value to the other person on the screen looking and watching. And what began to happen was people started taking notice, and I'm sure the algorithms started picking up as I was consistently putting out content. And then people would say, they would not comment on my posts or anything. They would send me messages through Facebook or Instagram, LinkedIn too, in a different way. A lot of people are reaching out to me in LinkedIn for business purposes,
Right.
Which is great. However, the personal branding and the personal, the content that I was putting out there was setting myself apart from the rest, from the noise and all the other people in the industry.
Yeah.
And the fact that I'm a user of my own product helped dramatically too. So I'd be able to speak to things that other, salespeople or marketing people couldn't really speak to. So those were things that that was a huge thing for me in terms of prospecting and getting more business and getting more clients. And then once they would go through the process, then they would tell their friends, and I would ask for referrals, like, I hope I've earned your, thank you for allowing me to earn your business. If there's anyone that that I should be speaking to, please, let me know or pass along their information. So that's really how it started going and snowballing and snowballing and snowballing.
And it's so important to make sure that you are like asking for those referrals, and asking for those, do you have 5 friends? Do you have 3 friends? Related to the fact that it is solar, and like you said, people are just used to, paying their bill all the time. They don't know that there's an alternative. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how did you figure out a way? So obviously you said, posting content and relevant, like actually information, not necessarily selling, to your social media. Like, how did you find that you were able to, I guess, bridge that gap, or, I guess, educate people or help them figure out that there is an alternative?
Yeah, I think it was, for one, personally going through it ourselves and understanding how it worked, but really diving in and getting to know like the solar, like, and
Yeah,
this can apply to any market or any business, whether you are a digital marketer, or if you are a sales trainer, or if you are a car salesperson or a realtor. You
yeah,
need to know your market and you need to know your product. And so I think, because I love to learn and I love to go in deep and understand it, so that I don't, when I go and talk to someone, I always will say to them, if I don't know the answer to your question, I will certainly find out for you.
right.
But I think that's what really helped me, was to dive in deep, get to know it so that I knew it from the back of, front and back, side,
Yeah,
all around. I knew, and I still am learning. So there's still things I probably don't understand about the industry, or about how it affects the homeowner, or how it can benefit the homeowner, that I'm still learning today. And, I think that's just having an openness to be able to continue, to learn and grow I guess, your skills in terms of communication and understanding when to ask the right questions. And I think that's really it, is right with the gap, finding the gap. What is the gap?
exactly.
Asking the right questions.
Yeah. And making sure that you're top of mind, because, like, you are active on your social media, and you do have, your personal brand. And so, explaining to your customers what you do, but also just being there as an expert and posting content on a regular basis, like, that's a big deal, because it
Yeah.
differentiates. Not everybody does that, right?
Right, right. Yeah, staying top of mind is so important, and you want to stand out amongst the crowd. And
Yeah.
you know, um, there's several homeowners that I have met with that go, oh, I'm getting other bids, or I go, great, you should do that. You really should do that, and you should find out what they're offering and what they have, and then if you're willing, share it with me. And if it's apples to apples, let me see what I can do, or let me at least consult and advise if that's a good deal or not.
Yeah.
Because I have the ability to do that and help them. And so with that, I think there's a part, because I'm giving to them without this pressure, or this feeling
Yeah.
like you have to do business with me. People want, welcome that feedback and advice, for the education and giving that, and giving to them the consultation.
Yeah, exactly. And even, if they're not, if you're not, like, directly in front of them, you're still in front of them because of what you're doing
Yeah.
with your social media.
Yeah.
So, being that this is kind of like, it's neat, I guess, niche, when it comes to, not everybody goes for solar, right?
Right.
Um, so what I guess, what would you suggest, other than obviously, branding yourself and making sure that you're viewed as though you're an expert?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would you suggest would be some different ways to differentiate, or even just, like, how do you avoid all the negatives that come with you know because it seems like some people hate on the, like, the, like, niche things that aren't necessarily, like, for the whole everyone, right?
Yeah. Some of the little things that I do to set myself apart, and it really, like this Christmas or this holiday season, I ordered all of my customers a nice little gift. And, you know, it was like these really beautiful cookie tins, and they were cookies from Honolulu Cookie Company.
Cool.
I love Hawaii. My family goes to Hawaii. We try and go every year. And actually, they're the owner, one of the owners of the company, they've been hit hard by the COVID and, COVID and people not coming to Hawaii and buying products. So they're like, how do we get in front of people? So he posted on a networking group that I'm a part of on Facebook. And so I was like, this is the perfect gift. It's so unique. It's not a coffee, nothing wrong with coffee mugs and hot cocoa or, things like that. But it was something that was unique, and it was delivered in this beautiful tin and already had thank you ribbons like tied onto it. And so then the other thing I did was these are the little things that stand out or, make you memorable and say, oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
I had my, somebody who makes custom cards, like handcrafted custom cards.
Yeah. I love custom cards.
Yeah.
I had the patience. I wish I had the patience and the creativity. Like I love to receive them.
Yes. And so it's like a 3-dimensional card. She took my logo. She made this beautiful card, and on the back, she had some of it pre-printed, like, happy holidays and whatnot. Thank you. Wishing you a good, prosperous new year. Yeah. And that it shines like the sun, because I wanted to tie it back to solar. But then I put it on there, and I hand delivered them to the people I could, and I shipped them to the people I couldn't, because I do help homeowners that are not local to me as well. And they all came back and just were like, thank you so much. So that's something that's, I think, a little nice touch, obviously the timing of the holidays and everything, but just writing notes of thanks, or just checking in on them. How's your solar going? How like if you sell a home, or you sell a car, or you sell a product, how is business, or how is your home? How's your car? How is your website performing, or whatever it is that people sell? Mm-hmm. Just checking in, and I'm getting better at doing email marketing, and just so it doesn't seem spammy, because I don't want it to seem, I want it to be like a
authentic
touch, authentic outreach to them, just checking in. And so I do that for my customers. And
it doesn't mean that you couldn't create templates.
Right. You're right.
Even if you don't want them to be all like email newsletter fancy, like this is going to everyone, not just you. If it's in a template, then you can like adjust some of the wording, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah. So those are all things that I'm starting to interject into how I do business. And I just need to, like it's totally fine to templatize it, and then probably put out quarterly or even monthly emails, as long as it's providing value. And then it's also an opportunity to give them a call to action for them to refer, because they get financially rewarded for referrals if they install. So there's people that actually refer, and they earn some extra dollars, and it helps pay off their solar system.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, so it's a kind of it's a win-win for everyone. And when you really think of it, it's a win for the planet, it's a win for them, it's a win for me, and it's a win for anyone that they introduce, me to. So
yeah. And I think anytime that you can be top of mind, whether it's, buying like a custom box of cookies and, cut out of a card with your brand logo, or sending out an email newsletter to remind people of yourself, or posting videos on how-tos on social media, it just, it gives you the opportunity to always be top of mind.
Yes.
So then my last kind of question for you. So what are you the most excited about right now?
Well, I'm most excited because I am pivoting and moving into commercial and industrial solar. So
Cool.
not only am like I've been spending the last 2 years doing residential, I have the opportunity to go into commercial and industrial. So that is what I'm most excited about.
That's a big
Because
deal.
while the homeowners, whether they have a $200 electricity bill or a $1,000 electricity bill, those are pain points for people,
Yeah.
especially right now, given this current situation of the world. And money might be tight for a lot of people, but the nice thing with that is, they can kind of start taking control of their costs. But
Mm.
it applies to the business owners almost to like a 5 to 10, maybe even 20x as the homeowner. So applying the principles that you and I are learning and applying
Yeah.
to our businesses, that's what I'm most excited about for 2021.
And oh, by the way, LinkedIn is going to be an amazing platform for you to use to reach
Yes,
all those businesses.
yes,
Um,
yes.
yeah, very cool. That's very cool. And then I guess I can't think. I don't think I have any other questions. The only other question that I was gonna ask was, maybe I lost it now. It was related to the holidays. If you're,
Oh,
if you're staying around, if you're gonna work, if you're traveling.
well, I have a big installation going on today. It started yesterday and it finishes up on Christmas Eve. And then I have another homeowner who's getting her main panel upgraded today, and the panels will go in on Saturday. So I will be still kind of working throughout the holidays. Where my kids are super excited. They keep saying "Merry Christmas" to me, Mom, even though it's 3 days away, and they're really excited. So I worked a lot this weekend getting everything ready, and so we're just gonna stay home with our little family. We're gonna do an outdoor like 20-minute gift exchange with the extended family on Christmas Eve.
Yeah,
But we do, California seems to be it's become a hot spot, and so we just want to be safe and not cause anyone to get sick
yeah,
or pass it on to
yeah.
family members. So yeah, we're sticking around town and we're excited. We've been watching Christmas movies and
Yeah,
doing
there's lots
all the
of cool
things.
things that
Yeah,
you could do at home. We're stuck inside too. Well, we're not stuck inside, but we're there's no social gatherings. So
yeah,
but we'll get through this. We'll get
we
through it.
will.
But yeah, so Jamie, thank you so much. It was
You're
such a pleasure
welcome.
speaking with you. Jamie Greene, the Solar Queen. Thank you very much for your time. And once again, Rebecca Kramer. Well, my name is Rebecca Kramer, and I do have a Facebook group that's Social Media Growth Masters. If anyone would love to, I would love to have you in that group. And also, if you found any value, which I think you did, especially with this fabulous lady. Please like, share, comment below, even after the fact. People will be able to see your comments. And thank you so much, Jamie. I appreciate you being on here with me.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me on your show today.
See ya.
Bye.